Spence Taylor of Forever Fest, SOUNDBOARDSTREAMS.COM. I'm here tonight in Edinburgh at the Pixy Theater with Erin Ludwig, local promoter, music supporter. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with music and kind of what you do.
Okay. I have been a career bartender. I've been a bartender for 21 years. And the last place I worked, the Grill Bar in Franklin, the owners were gracious enough to allow me to pester them into having live music about once a month. And it just took hold, and then it started to be every weekend. And I loved it, and I met so many amazing people through music,
Yes.
and that was
Oh my
my joy, you know. And I just realized that, I mean, I loved bartending as far as I made great friends and saw the same people and saw their lives and their families and growing up and marrying and saw like a generation go through.
Yeah.
And that was really gratifying. But when COVID came, it's really like the winds of change came through and just kind of swept me out the door. It's a very small place, and they weren't going to do music because of the restrictions, of course, unlimited,
Yes.
as all these venues are struggling with right now.
Yeah.
The balance between getting people in the door and keeping everyone safe, and in such a small building, live music just didn't really play into that. And I realized that's where my heart was, and having time away from my everyday grind kind of opened my eyes to what do I really want to do, and what really, you know, stokes my fire, and how do I see the next few years of my life going. And it was all about the music. I mean, I get the best joy out of live music, and just everyone I meet is so cool.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, you know, I think we're close to the same age, but I grew up going to concerts, and it just always has been a huge part of my life. And it just kind of took, I guess, a pandemic to make me realize what really was important to me and what I wanted to go forward with. And so important.
Yeah, pandemics had that effect on
Yeah,
many people.
yeah.
Kind of a reevaluation period.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
That's how I found myself involved with the streaming and video recording and everything. I've been a musician my whole life and really loved it and been part of it, and I've always promoted it. As I get older, it's harder to have the time and physically to play the drums the way I used to. And so I was like, how do I stay involved? And so for 7 years, my brother and I ran a company for stage lighting and sound.
Oh, that's cool.
But as you know, those
That
hours aren't always
industry yeah.
a little rough. And so then we get tired of the hours. Both of us have a full-time job. It's always been a hobby and a way to stay involved, but it reached a point where financially we never made much money. We spent way too much time and money on things, equipment. So kind of reevaluated when the pandemic hit. I thought, you know, I've done live streaming through my IT profession for about 5 years in different ways, and so I know how to do it. There's a lot to learn still, so I kind of threw myself into it, but it's been a really good opportunity to meet a lot of people, to lower the barriers to entry, because I don't feel like, whereas before a lot of big bands, there's a guarantee and money involved, and a lot of people were more willing to come and play, which is great because there's not a lot of money to pay people, and it's a really hard time, so everybody's really throwing their time in.
Yeah, they
but
are.
At some point we gotta find a way to, I think it feels like we're missing the value of music and art. I feel like it's kind of been devalued in some
I think
level.
it's quite endangered.
And it's really heartbreaking for me to even imagine a world without live music and events and movies and plays and entertainment like that. It's
That's why, that's another reason I feel so strongly and so passionately about keeping it going as wherever and however we can, because how dark a world without it.
Yeah.
And there are, you know, for want of better words, dark forces in the world right now that seem very much against the light that art brings. So it makes me feel like a Jedi,
Yeah.
you know, to kind of keep the Force alive or something in some small way.
Sure, yeah.
I'm small potatoes, and you know, it really doesn't matter to me.
I think
It's
in
about
the grand scheme of things, even when they feel like small potatoes, things you did, somebody had to do, and if you didn't do them, they wouldn't have been done.
Well, that's
And
a good way to look at it.
So I think it's awesome, and
Thanks.
I really appreciate the time and energy you put into it.
Thanks. Likewise.
I know it's a lot behind the scenes people don't know about.
Yeah.
And sometimes it creates issues with our relationships and family and time away. And
Yeah, and they're like, but where's the paycheck?
I know. Yeah. I
But you
finally
know what?
had
It's
to
an
stop.
investment in our future and in our family and our culture. So
Yeah.
it's worth it.
And like you said, there's just some thrill to it that it's hard to describe.
You
if
can't
don't feel
describe
you don't know it. But
Exactly.
I love bringing music to my friends, and my friends are the musicians. I love seeing them play and seeing them hang out with
I
them, so.
know. I think it's that magic that truly like rearranges the molecules in the room, and you kind of get that rush off of it, and just some people feel it and
Yep.
some people aren't open to feeling it. So I
And
feel
even some
lucky
people
that
on some nights that are normally open to it, if you're having a rough night, usually music can pull me out. But there's been some times in my life where even that wasn't enough.
right.
But wow,
Yeah, powerful for
it
sure.
really is transformative, meditative. I like to call it recharging my batteries.
Me too. Going to a show is like a vacation. You come away refreshed, changed.
Yeah.
You've seen a sight or heard a sound that's never been and never will be again. So it's
And a lot of times you get to kind of be free of your day-to-day self and be your concert self, your fun vacation self.
yeah,
And that is a big part of it, because I've seen during the pandemic how you've got music completely void of people with
Yeah.
live streaming, and I see like the weird lack of energy. And then you get the mix of people playing live and streaming. I think it helps, but people are such an important part of the music.
they are.
It's hard to play for a crowd if there's no crowd.
It is. Although I will say I have so appreciated the ingenuity of artists who have to play or perish because it's in them and they've got to
Yeah.
reach out. And you know, there's a friend of mine in particular that I'm thinking of. You know, he just did it for himself because he was dying inside, not being able to tour, not being able to do anything. And he has now reached an audience larger than he ever dreamed. So it always finds a way when it's real. It finds its way out.
That's right.
So that's gratifying. That's
Yeah.
reassuring
Yeah.
to me.